We're going to call this journal Hello Darkness, My Old Friend, not because I fought Nerdgigante again, or Master Rank Kieran again, or because of that stupid monkey, or the final boss fight, but because of Simon and Garfunkel's stupid song, The Sound of Silence, playing Hello Darkness, My Old Friend, on repeat for 30 minutes as I bash this Nerdgigante with my axe. Pidgey hunts! Hello and welcome back to another Monster Hunter Journal, where we follow along my story of Monster Hunter World, Iceborne, and also Rise in these journals. Welcome back, friends, as we wrap up the story of Iceborne. Before we get that, I'd just like to say, welcome my little friend that we don't have a name for, maybe Tofu. Now that I see it, I'm feeling Tofu, which was, this was sent to me, it's custom made, was sent to me by one of the members of the community, one of our mods actually, that you might know as either Kachan or Ikiwi, depending on what platform you're on. So thank you for sending this and adding this little beautiful, what's it called? Downy Crake, I believe it's called, to the set. Now let's get going with this journal. Lots of emotions, lots of stuff happened last week. Before we get into the progress stream, quick recap. Last week on the multiplayer stream, I wanted to grind out a new axe because last week I was really struggling with getting my kill time down. All my hunts were taking 40, almost 45 minutes. I was running out of time in a lot of cases. So we grinded out a new axe. So I went shopping for a new axe, saw the Rathian axe and the Valkana axe, which looked pretty attractive. So start off the multiplayer stream, looked at them like, oh, this is going to be a long stream. We need a lot of ingredients to get this. Lucky for me, good old Hey J luck, we went on one hunt for a Rathian and we ended up with every ingredient we needed for the axe. We went on one Valkana hunt and I got everything I needed for my axes. So within like 30 minutes, I had both my axes. I was like, well, I guess we're going to kill monsters together for the rest of the stream. Anyways, those axes were very valuable as we went to the final boss of Iceborne. But before we get there, I always like to start my streams with a warm-up, and I asked the chat, which I should never do, never ask chat anything if you don't want to get hurt, said, what should I go warm up on? And they're like, go do a high-rank, arc-tempered Nerdgigante. And I was like, you know what? It's been a while I didn't do that. I'm a little worried, but I'm like, hey, it's high-rank. How hard can it be? Ha ha ha. The stupidest words I always say ever, every time. So I go fight this arc-tempered Nerdgigante, which I think is also my first arc-tempered fight ever. I was in full master rank gear. I was feeling confident going into this. Truth be told, I haven't fought Nerdgigante very often, so it had been like a month or two since I fought him, but no way do I remember this guy being this aggressive and this fast. He's just everywhere and pound and pound and pound, and you look to the right, pound, you look to the left, pound. This guy's just like pounding you like a phone. That's not even a good metaphor. I was thinking of the pound sign on the phone. It's not even funny. So chat had a blast. I'm pretty sure I fainted twice on that. And I was in a world of pain. And I was like, all right, I'm warmed up. Never want to do that again. And then at this point, nobody has spoiled the final fight. And I was like, all right, it's time to go see what the final fight of Iceborne is. And as I'm talking to the field leader, getting ready, he mentions Nerdgigante for some random reason. And I had that moment go, wait a minute. We haven't seen Nerdgigante at all in Iceborne. We're about to go to the final fight. Nerdgigante is the flagship monster of Monster Hunter World. Shit, Nerdgigante is the final boss, isn't it? So chat's like, no, he's not the final boss. So I go to the final arena, and lo and behold, a master rank Nerdgigante jumps out, and I'm just like, oh no. And then the song Hello Darkness, My Old Friend plays, which is a sound bit which I added to make the stream more fun. It's this little add-on, and I customized a bunch of sound bites that the users can use to play at key times. That's only supposed to go Hello Darkness, My Old Friend once, but something happened, the whole program bugged, and it was stuck on a loop, and now I'm stuck in a Nerdgigante fight. I cannot pause the game. I cannot get away to like see what's going on. So I fought Master Rank Nerdgigante for 30 minutes with Hello Darkness, My Old Friend, just going over and over and over and over and over again. Do you know how old that song gets on repeat? It would be one thing if it was sang all the way through, but just that one, like those lyrics just on repeat was terrible. So anyways, I carded, and when I carded, I finally I had to shut down the whole stream, delete everything, and reboot it, and finally we had the sound of silence. It was quite nice. So turns out this guy was Ruiner Nerdgigante, ended up being easier than Arc-Tempered Nerdgigante. Like, he wasn't doing the dive bombs. He was holding back some of his punches, I felt. I was like, all right, I'm okay with this. This is clearly not the final boss. Like, I can feel it. I can feel it from like those games that are always like one more boss. So of course I kill Ruiner Nerdgigante, and the next thing that happens, the island splits up and a big pile of rocks comes out. I was like, oh, this looks cool. Big pile of rocks, sign me up. I get to bash a monster and rip off rocks. That's my kind of fight. So what's this one? The Shar Ishvalda. Really loved phase 1. And as I was going through, I was like, this is really easy to dodge. Something's up. This is not its final form. So I started by softening up, which changes the color, but then I learned that you can just bash the face, bash the chest. And of course, once you get all the rock out, then you get this disgusting, tentacly, wind-pressured monster, which is all right to fight, honestly. I hate how it turns everything into quicksand. That was the worst thing. I love how it has like a Kamehameha blast out of its mouth. It even has like a spirit bomb attack. It's a pretty cool fight. If I have to compare Monster Hunter World final fight, sorry there, Drake. Crake. Final world story fight versus Iceborne story fight. Iceborne did it better. Isn't that the case for just about everything? So, of course I carded because I got stuck in quicksand and I got wombo comboed a few times. But then I went back in and I was just like, I'm done with this. Nope, we're not going to do this again. So, went back in, just went so aggressive, peeled those rocks off that monster because now I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was in for. Was a little bit more careful. Also, another thing, in multiplayer last week, I learned how to use sword mode. So I have finally, 100 plus hours, I finally used sword mode to open up my attacks. And I was all over this thing, sword mode, clutch claw, wall bang, the whole shebang. This thing went down. I think I carded once on that one, but I had it in the bag and it didn't take too long. And I finished it with a smack to the face. I believe I clawed to its face, smacked in the face, and that was the killing blow, which made this like really nice actually screenshot, which is probably going to be my new desktop wallpaper for a while. So finished that, checked out his armor. Armor is very, I hope I don't get this wrong, but I think it's like very Hindu inspired, the whole armor set. It looks really cool. In fact, I gave Classy, we went from dead kitty to ascended kitty. I really love the how he's like floating in a chair. Gives me like Yoda vibes. So Classy is now ascended since we've completed the story. He can be whatever he wants to be. So from there, I named my sword Tofu. So I don't know if we can name the Downy Crake tofu, because now I have a big chunk of tofu that hangs off my sword and it talks when I unsheath it. I don't know what it says, so I thought it was cute. So the switch axe is now called Tofu. Tofu and Classy, my companions for life. Then we went and progressed a little bit and explored. I got introduced to the Guiding Lands, which I was like, this game, it just keeps opening and it just keeps giving more and more. Like I've been like so satisfied. It's like, you know, when you're at a buffet and it's like just good food. Just it's not like there's like food that you're like, I don't even want to touch that. It's food like there's 36 different meals and you just want to taste everything because everything looks good and everything just comes in like, this is Iceborne. It just keeps on delivering. So I'm like, wow, I finished the story. Here I'm introduced to a whole new map, which is like a piecemeal of all the other maps with its own new rule set and mechanics. And I have to be honest with all of you, I don't get it yet, but I'm also not trying to get it yet. Like I was introduced to this towards the end of the stream. I was like, there's a lot of stuff. From what I understand, the region unlocks the more you kill or capture monsters. So I assume I'm just going to be hunting in there, getting monsters. I saw there's like a little ticker that unlocks. So every time you kill a monster, you get closer to unlocking a new monster. And then the more you level up, the more things unlock. I think I like this mechanic, but I felt a lot of wariness from the community of like the grinding lands. I was like, all right, right now as a newcomer who's being introduced to this, I was like, this is a cool concept. I like what I'm seeing. I can't wait to get into this and start unlocking and leveling things up. But before we do that, we had another quest at base. I really want to explore. Oh, and then in the Guiding Lands, we met Zinogur, which if you watch my Monster Hunter Rise journals, you'll know Zinogur has been the hardest monster for me in Monster Hunter Rise, and I just started high rank. That thing has been carding me constantly twice, and I think I failed the first hunt with him. So to see Zinogur in a world which, you know, the first time you meet him, he takes on a Diablos and a Rathalos, and he's just like, I don't care, and he's big, and he's electric. Oh, man. And he looks at you, he gives you the side eye like, you're next. And terrifying. I'm just like, how am I going to fight this thing? This is going to be so tough. So luckily he ran off. It was just an introductory thing. Go back to town, and the whole chat said, don't do guiding lands anymore. Do this quest, which was a Hornless Kieran. And I was, okay, at this point, it's like 11:45. It's almost midnight. I've already played for 3+3.5 hours. I'm tired, and if you watch my last journal, you'll know how much I struggled with Master Rank Kieran last week. So I'm like, no, and the chat was split, like, give the guy a break, and everyone's like,
no, he must suffer.
And I was like, all right, let's do this. Let's see what this Hornless Kieran is. And I was actually quite drained, and I'm like, I really don't want to do this. So I went in, and something just clicked. 15 minutes is all it took to take down that pony. I made that pony my pet, and because I can't say more vulgar things. And I don't know what happened. I just knew how to, like, I just knew it. Like, my brain had learned the patterns. I'm just like, dodge, smack. Oh, I was also using sword mode, which I think that might be the clicker, because last week I was only using axe mode because I was like, oh, how can I move fast with sword? Well, now I know how to move fast with sword. You know, you roll here, you sheath here, you pull it out there, and then you smack. That pony, I chased it all over and then made it my snack. I love that I can make Kieran my snack because I hated it so much last week. I was like, oh, this thing's so hard. How am I supposed to fight it? And now it's easy. So, of course, I'm like, the chat was disappointed because I didn't get slapped around. I was riding high, and they're like,
go to the next quest.
And I was like, oh, God. It's like, it's past midnight at this point. I know what's waiting for me is the legendary monkey, which I've been hearing on this channel for like the past 4 months. I don't even know what this monkey looks like. I just know that out there's a monkey waiting to slap me around and make me his pet. And make me his pet he did. So we finally met Rajang. And Rajang doesn't mess around. Rajang is the new Kieran, because Rajang, I hope I'm saying that right, Rajang. Man, I hate that monkey. Oh, he's fast, and he has lightning, and he lives in, like, he's in the volcano area where there's fire, and he's just all over the place, and he's just so angry. I'm like, why are you, I'm angry that he's angry, and I'm not too upset because it was late in the stream and I went in more to see the cutscenes, and while I was there, I'm like, let's see how far I can get on this monkey. I don't remember. I think some people are like, oh, you're doing all right. But honestly, I was giving it like a good try, but I was expecting to fail anyways. So I'm going into next week with Rajang as my next target, and I still don't know how to fight it. So I hope my brain, like as I'm sleeping, it's like running simulations to learn and study of like, okay, he does this. And this is all happening at the subconscious level. So the next time I just pick up a controller, just like, and it just happens. We take down the monkey. Otherwise, this monkey might be my wall for a while because I don't see a way that I can overcome it just by like thinking about it. So that's where we are now. We are in endgame content. I suspect I'm about to slow down on my grind because I think this is where we have a ramp up in difficulty. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this because now there's a risk of unlocking new monsters on multiplayer streams. I'm going to try to keep them for Thursday grinds. I have to get a little bit more familiar with guiding lands to see how I'm going to get through this. But the story's done, but the real target still remains. Fatalis. That is the goal here. I have to take down Fatalis. So now it's all about training, getting my master rank up, and knocking down all these other little wannabe apex monsters or whatever you call them, these Rajangs and these Zinogurs. We got to take them down too as we work our way to Fatalis. So it's going to be a rough journey. I'm sweating. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But now that I've got my Tofu, my Crake, and my Ascended Classy, and I have to say, my Hunter, like I haven't even tried to fashion hunt. I love how my Hunter looks. He is just so suave in that Kieran outfit. And I actually realized, oh my God, I've grown my hair to the point where I actually look like my Hunter. I have become my Hunter. I just need to get the whole Kieran suit. I love how he looks. He looks good. So by natural selection, I ended up picking armor that looks good. All right. So Rajang awaits me next week. Please help me. Please help me overcome this monkey. I don't want to get slapped again. It hurts so much. And then after I fight him, I have to go against Zinogur probably, which is next week. All I see is pain. I just see so much pain. But if you want to join me next Thursday, 8 p.m., come join me for some pain. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next journal. And until then, keep it classy.